Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today's video is about operations with complex numbers. If you are not familiar with the concept of complex numbers, you can watch our previous video about it. To add or subtract two complex numbers, you add or subtract the real and imaginary parts of the number separately. Maybe it's easier by solving some examples. First, we have to remove parentheses and then group like terms. This means real numbers and imaginary numbers. Then we simplify, and that's all. For the second example, we are going to do the same. First, remove parentheses, then group like terms, and simplify. In this example, you can see that even if it's a complex number, we can get a real solution. Let's solve the third example by doing the same. First, removing parentheses, then group like terms, and simplify. In this example, you can see that even if it's a complex number operation, we can get an imaginary solution. As you may know, some equations have no real solution. Let's see this example. This is the quadratic equation that when we try to simplify and get the value of x, we have an imaginary number. We get the definition of I as follows. We are going to use this definition later, so keep it in mind. To solve the multiplication of two complex numbers, you have to remember the distributive property. Then expand this operation, and by using the formula that I gave you before, we can substitute that -1, and then by the associative property, we can have the result of this multiplication. As you can see, solving this kind of operations, it's similar to multiplying two binomials. So we are going to solve this first using the distributive property, then expanding the operation, and by the formula we know that I squared is equal to -1, so we are substituting this -1 and then simplifying. That is the result for this multiplication. Let's solve another example. This is the multiplication of a complex number and the complex conjugate. We are going to follow the same steps, expanding, now substituting the -1, and simplifying. Here you can see that we have a real number, and we can get to a new formula. This occurs with every pair of complex numbers and complex conjugate, so we are going to use this formula later. When we divide two complex numbers, we have to multiply the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate of the denominator. This is because we don't want to have an imaginary term in the denominator. Then we have to multiply, as we learned previously in the multiplication of two complex numbers. And simplify. Let's solve an example. The first step is to multiply the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate of the denominator. Then we have to multiply and substitute the I squared and our final answer can be represented as the binomial form. And that is all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next videos. See you later, guys!
Thank you for watching our video. Stay tuned for more math topics and don't forget to subscribe.